I want to thank everybody for being here. My name is Eric Dregney. I am the Vice President of Programs for the Community Foundation of Greater Dubuque, and I couldn't be more excited to be here doing this today because it's really what our work is all about. He's hiding in the back, but I also want to introduce Brent Siegert, and he's the director of our Summer Academy pilot program that we have this summer. So Brent, thank you for committing your summer to this. He's a second grade teacher at Irving School, and gave up his summer to devote it to the Summer Academy program, 7 weeks long. So if you're a teacher and you're used to valuing your summers in a different way, this is really a great commitment that he's made, so thank you. So I am really excited to be here this morning representing Every Child, Every Promise, really, and the Community Foundation this morning. These two organizations work in strategic alliance to keep a promise to Dubuque's young people by helping to ensure that they have the support they need to thrive in our community. I'm also representing Dubuque's campaign for grade level reading, and I'm proud to say that the campaign is making incredible strides since we launched the campaign more than a year ago. The campaign is a partnership of dozens of organizations that include schools, universities, colleges, nonprofits, business leaders, local government, and philanthropy. The campaign focuses on a major factor that leads to academic achievement, including graduation from high school, and that factor is being able to read proficiently by the end of third grade. Research tells us that when we fail to ensure students read proficiently by the end of third grade, 74% of them won't graduate from high school. Dubuque's campaign for grade level reading focuses on school readiness, school attendance, and summer learning. These areas research points to where we can have the most impact on third grade reading achievement. Last year, the campaign wrote a third grade reading action plan to focus attention and resources on these focus areas. The plan won national recognition in the form of the 2012 All-America City Award, as well as honors from the White House and the Department of Education. And last fall, we pivoted our focus to implementing that plan. Today, on this beautiful summer day that made us come in, we were going to do this outside, but maybe the books are better. The campaign is here to call out the importance of summer learning in order to prevent something called the summer slide. And the summer slide is the loss of learning during the summer between two school years. In reading, we know that it affects low-income students the most, and that they can fall behind by as many as 2 months in their reading scores, putting them at a disadvantage on the first day of school in the fall. The concepts built into the Summer Academy are designed to prevent summer learning loss. Over the next 7 weeks, this pilot will help us learn what has the greatest impact. So now that I've provided a little bit of background, I'd like to invite a few of our partners to the podium. In addition to funding from the Community Foundation and other partners, a grant program from the City of Dubuque provided $25,000 to support the Summer Academy. And here on behalf of the City of Dubuque is City Council Member Joyce Connors, our Mayor Pro Tem. The Mayor and City Council have been terrific supporters of the campaign, and none have been more supportive than Joyce Connors. So Joyce, please come on up.
Good morning. A year ago, I had the privilege of traveling with some of our Dubuque people from the schools and from the city out to Denver when they, in fact, eventually won the All-America City Award last year that focused on reading readiness, that by the end of third grade, one should be reading well enough that they can move from learning to read to the flip side of that, and that is reading to learn. Time spent out there, it was just a real eye-opener for me to see in some communities how unprepared children really are. And boy, does that put them behind the 8 ball. And so we were thrilled to get that award, and also to start to implement that. All those cute little kiddies that you saw marching through there, they probably don't know this, but they're going to have fun and they're going to learn at the same time. And when you make learning fun, then it doesn't seem like work at all. I'll give you a quick example. Last summer I was sitting out in my backyard reading a book, and I happened to have an e-book, and so it's got the little buttons that call up all the books that I've read and saved, and a little neighbor boy came by, a third grader, and he was curious, wanted to know what I was doing. So I showed him what it was, and I showed him how to push some buttons and find some things, and he saw a book in there, and he said, "Oh, I think my brother read that book." It's about a little boy. And I said, "Oh, do you want me to bring it up so you can look at it?" "Yeah." And, so he sat there for probably an hour, and the fun for him was pushing the buttons. But, once we got that little story up there, he started reading it. Now, he didn't read it well enough that in context he actually knew what was going on. But he did pretty well, and he was learning and really trying out new words. So, in fact, he was having fun. And I thought, "Oh, you sweet little thing, you don't even know that you're you're still learning some stuff here." So I think that's what this program is going to do. I think it's a wonderful thing. We don't think too much, well, you folks in education certainly do, about how much learning loss happens over the course of a few months in the summer. But for children who are a little bit behind to start with, it's enormous. So thank you for all of your efforts. Thank you to the two students from UD who are someday going to jump in the throes of the whole thing and continue to teach our little kids with enthusiasm. And never forget, if you make it fun, they're going to learn. Thanks.
Thank you to Joyce, and thank you to the City Council and Mayor for all of their support. And thank you to City staff. I want to call out, I think Marie Ware is here. I saw her sneak in, and Marie has been a terrific part of our effort here and is engaged in bringing some of the best practices that we're doing here in the pilot back into some of the summer programs that happen in the Park District. So that's a big piece of what the summer program is all about. It's about all kinds of providers across the community participating in this pilot, but also learning how to bring some of these best practices back into their programs so that in the future this kind of learning happens throughout the community and not just in programs like the Summer Academy. Next, I want to call up Stan Reingans, Superintendent of Dubuque Community Schools. I can't say enough about Stan and the support that he and his staff have given us to make the Summer Academy possible, including the use of this school. So Stan, thank you very much, and come on up.
Wow, what a fantastic day. The 47 students that you saw walk through here a minute ago are certainly going to have a different summer experience than they would have had without the synergy and collaboration in this room. You know, Dubuque, my family and I have been in Dubuque for 10 years, and I've always been impressed with how Dubuque gets things done. I had the opportunity to go to Denver with Joyce this past weekend to be part of the All-American City competition again, and this drove home to me how well people work together in Dubuque. People aren't worried about the credit. They're not worried about my territory and your territory. They're worried about doing good things for this community. And as a superintendent, it makes me unbelievably grateful to know that the focus for so many people is our students and student achievement and how do we make life better for kids. So this is just a prime example of that. You know, to think that this many groups could come together, put together a 7-week program. When Eric first approached me about this, sometime early winter, probably November, December, you know, it was just kind of a concept about how things could be, and would everybody really come to the table and bring forward the things that would need to happen to pull this off, and they have. The kids are finishing, I believe, their first week. I think the 47 students. It's a phenomenal opportunity for kids who would otherwise experience the reading summer learning loss that was mentioned, and that transition from learning to read to reading to learn is vital. We all know, I'm kind of preaching to the choir, that the capstone ability, that ability to read, dictates or will dictate for many of these kids where they'll end up. Do they graduate from high school? Do they go to college? Do they attain a master's degree? And on and on and on. It all revolves around, did they learn to read effectively and efficiently and pull out that content. And so this is a huge opportunity for these students. And so as a school district, we're very grateful. I'd like to point out that this is just one of many buildings we have. So if the program wants to grow, I'm pretty sure we can find a place to do that and make this opportunity available for more and more students. We'll learn a lot of things this summer, many great things, a few things that we'll probably want to do differently in the future, but know that the school district is a very willing partner. We're appreciative that you are all willing partners. You know, we all have a common interest in making sure that our students, our young people are successful, and I'm hopeful that this pilot and many other programs will continue to grow to make Dubuque the outstanding place that it is, especially for young people. So thank you for your help, whether it's financial, whether it's in personnel, whether it's in supplies, whatever it is. We appreciate everybody coming together to make this happen for our kids. Thanks, Eric.
Thank you, Stan, and I want to thank the school board as well. We've got a few school board members here. I see Mike Donahue, and I see Otto Kruger, and I see Tammy Ryan, and did I miss anybody else? All right. So thank you to all of you for being here, and thank you for the school board for their support of this as well. We know it doesn't happen without everything that you do. Now I want to bring up someone who's really done yeoman's work to make the Summer Academy possible. What I've learned about a Summer Academy is that in order to have one, you need an organization to lead it, and you also need a leader to make it happen. And St. Mark's Youth Enrichment is that organization. That's their new name, by the way. If you didn't catch that this week, they announced that. And Tara Velez is that leader. And Tara's going to tell you about all the great people who helped make it possible. And she's right. There were a whole bunch of people who did it. But the one person that gave that group the direction and the focus needed to pull something like this together was Tara. So, Tara, come on up.
Thank you, Eric. I want to thank all of you for coming out this morning to support the Summer Academy. Even though the children didn't really know why you were here, they know it's something important. So thank you for that. Our mission at St. Mark Youth Enrichment is to support the educational and social needs of school-aged youth and their families. And we do this through our before and after and summer school programs. So when Eric reached out to us and others in the community to join together to write our community action plan for the campaign for third grade reading, we found our place on the Summer Learning Committee. And I just want to recognize the committee members who created the Summer Academy. So people who are here representing Loras College, Dubuque Community Schools, Leisure Services, ISU Dubuque County Extension, Every Child, Every Promise, and the Community Foundation. Will you, I know we're a small group, but raise your hand or stand up so that we can thank you. All of us spent many hours and resources and shared our talents to contribute to what is now the Summer Academy. And without this group of people, this program would not have happened. So thank you. We started this process a year and a half ago, and we've come a long way and we've learned a lot. So back in October, we hired our Summer Academy coordinator, who I don't think Dave McDermott is here today, but he also played a really important role on the planning committee. And we went to the National Association for Summer Learning Conference, and that was where we really designed the Summer Academy. It's where we learned our best practices from what people are doing across the nation. So we designed the Summer Academy to be a 7-week, 5-day-a-week, 8-hour-a-day academic and enrichment program focused on improving reading performance and instilling a love of learning in the participants. Students are participating in morning literacy centers, and then in the afternoons they're selecting from over 28 enrichment opportunities. These opportunities are being offered by community partners. So I know many of you also are community partners offering enrichment opportunities, so I also want to recognize you for that. So if you're providing one of our afternoon enrichment, would you raise your hand so we can thank you? Those enrichment activities include swimming, Spanish, cooking, different art classes, music, science experiments, STEM activities, financial literacy, gardening, and more. The program also includes breakfast and lunch provided by the Boys and Girls Club and afternoon snack. Every child will receive a book each week to grow their library at home. And every Friday, as Eric mentioned, the kids will be going on field trips out in the community. They'll be visiting 4 mounds, the Loris Planetarium, Fire Station, Swiss Valley, the Bell Tower Theater. They'll be going on a riverboat ride, and the final week of program they'll be visiting the Madison Zoo. So you can see they're going to be busy, and they're definitely going to be having fun, and also they have their polos that they received for participating in program. So combining both the Summer Academy and St. Mark's regular half-day summer program, we're offering affordable educational and enrichment summer programs to 130 students. We consider that an amazing success for the Summer Learning Committee and for Dubuque. Thank you.
Thank you, Tara, and thank you to the St. Mark Board as well for their vision and leadership in buying in early and supporting this. It really wouldn't happen without an organization like that behind us. I was going to thank those folks too, but Tara did a great job, so thank you, Tara, for doing that. And I think finally I just want to thank our funders. The other piece of you need an organization, you need leadership, and then you need a little money. And so we had a little money. We got a little money from the Community Foundation. We got some from the City of Dubuque, the Dubuque Racing Association. The Dubuque Police Protective Association actually provided and purchased books. And then Crescent Community Health Center has put together a fantastic gardening experience for the students here. They'll actually go in the afternoons and do gardening and learn a lot about local food. And then thank you to McGraw-Hill and Kendall Hunt, who provided a series of books that actually help us build out the curriculum for the Summer Learning Academy. So now I want to invite everybody to stick around a little bit. I guess I don't want to jump off that yet. I want to thank a couple people who are here. We've got representatives from the Every Child Every Promise Board is here. I see Kevin and maybe there's another one. And then I want to see or thank representatives from the Community Foundation Board as well, who I see Phil Rupel's here. So thank you for being here. And now I want to invite everybody, if you want to take a tour. I think Brent and Katie are in the back of the room, and they'll show you around a little bit, and you can learn a little bit about what's going to happen here all summer long. I think some of the kids had to take off to an activity already, but others are still here doing their thing. So thank you all for being here today.